What's up, everybody? I'm Joey Lukansky. Let's get started. I'm going to be going over every single 50 states early look at 2026. You know, there's going to be a very important election. They said it every time. But I mean, every election is important. Can never say one isn't. Everybody's voice matters. Everybody's voice deserves to be heard. But in Illinois is going to be the first time I'm starting off with for this 50 state look. And Illinois alone, I believe, to be one of the most watched states in the whole nation. You have Dick Durbin, who announced retirement from the Senate. He's been in there since the 90s. He's been there for like 20 years. Lifelong politician, career politician. I don't know about lifelong. Maybe got in there when he was a little bit older. Don't know the details on that. But he has finally announced that he is retiring. That was a huge announcement, because now that means that his Senate seat is up for grabs. And now you have a huge Democratic primary. You have people like Stratton, who's the lieutenant governor, who already has J.B. Pritzker's endorsement, who is the governor of Illinois. Speculation if he's going to run for governor again or not, because as we all know, he has his eyes set on president. So waiting for that announcement to see what his step is going to be. Kind of surprised he didn't try taking Senate and making a national profile from that and going to the White House from there. I mean, may have been better for name recognition. And then you have Raja from Illinois' 8th Congressional District. So now not only is there an open Senate seat, but now there's an open House seat. And Raja, he has a huge war chest. I think maybe around 12 million from what I've heard. And so I haven't done all the detailed research into that, but huge war chest. And then you have Robin Kelly from Illinois' 2nd Congressional District. So now you open up 2 seats. And Jan Schakowsky, I apologize, I completely mispronounced it, chopped it, completely apologize. But now you have her announcing for retirement. She's from Illinois' 9th Congressional District. So now in Illinois, you not only have the open Senate seat, but you have 3 open House seats. Congressional House seats. I mean, Raj has been in there since, I think, this would be his 10th year, because he's 5th term. Each term's 2 years, so that'd be 10 years. He came after Duckworth when she went for Senate. And Duckworth she took out a Republican. So Illinois' last Republican senator, I believe, would be 2016, maybe? Unless Tammy Duckworth took her out of the House. I'm trying to think which one. I think it may be the House. I did the research on the history behind it all. I have it written down somewhere. But yeah, so Illinois Republican politics this year, it just needs an opportunity. So the question becomes, can Illinois' 8th be flipped? Can Illinois' 9th be flipped? Can Illinois' 2nd be flipped? The 8th is probably more likely, because you've had, in the past, I think 30 years, you've had maybe 3 Democratic House members and 2 Republicans, if I'm correct. And so Illinois' 8th may be a possibility. It's kind of like a swingable. I mean, granted, every 10 years they do redraw it. And so with how it's been redrawn recently, it may be a little harder. You have Elgin now. And so that can be a little harder. 9th is so long. Just so long. I mean, this kind of looks like a snake. If you pull up a map, I would highly recommend looking at that. The 2nd I'm not as familiar with, so is it flippable? I would not know. The 9th, I would personally say no. But the 8th, I'd say if you get the right candidate and the right guy, it could potentially flip it to the Republican side. I mean, even the Senate seat, I mean, there's a midterm election. In the 2024 election, Trump had a little bit over 43 point something percent of the vote, while Harris took 54% of the vote, point something. Then that was with 70.42% of the turnout. Now, turnout's going to be low. Will that hurt Republicans? I mean, we're going to midterm too. We gotta remember Trump's in office, Republicans are in office. Usually during midterms, the party in office does suffer. So where does it lead us? Probably, most likely to flip could be the best chancellor at this time is the 8th. Because even with Trump in office, that seat is probably the best chance that you have at flipping. because Trump has slowly been increasing his turnout in Illinois. So the question is, how do you keep that Trump turnout while Trump's name is not on the ballot? That becomes a question that everybody's asking. Keeping turnout without Trump on the ballot. Because, and then, but if we go back to 2020, Trump only had 40.55% of votes, so he increased it. And in 2016, he only had 38.35% of vote. So he keeps increasing that, which is overall. Granted, in 2020, there was higher turnout, and in 2016, there was lower turnout. 2020, 72, and in 2016, with 68%. Do these numbers mean anything? I mean, Trump's turnout has been shaking from the 68 to 72, then back down to 70 these past 3 presidential elections. The fact that Trump has slowly increased no matter what the turnout number was, does that say something good? The question can only be asked in the midterm election. And now, granted, Trump had 43% of the vote in Illinois. But why is Illinois representative in Congress with 43% of his House members from Illinois? Illinois has 2 House members from Republican House members. Out of 17, I believe. If not 17 is 18, but I'm pretty sure it's 17. I mean, we should have more Republican House members, but how they draw the maps is so wonky. And so the question is also, can you overcome those maps? I mean, because even if you look at past presidential elections, ever since Obama, Lake County, the county directly above Cook keeps Illinois mainly blue because of Chicago. Cook is always blue. But before Obama, Lake County and DuPage County, I believe, were red. And some of those other surrounding counties too. But once Obama came on the scene, he flipped Lake County and DuPage and a few other, and they have not gone red since. Some stayed blue a little bit after Obama, and they've slowly gone back to voting red. But the question becomes, how do you flip these counties back to red? I mean, number one, you need the money too. 2, you need the outreach effort, the grassroots, the outreach to everything. You need people on the ground talking. As far as that, I mean, and the question too, you have to think about movement. A lot of people have been moving from the city out to the suburbs. So in fact, I believe Lake County has become a deeper blue than what it was when Obama even took it, from looking at some of the maps. So how do you flip that? That's going to be a very hard question to answer because it's been trying. People have been trying, don't get me wrong. A lot of other Republicans around have been trying. But, very little groups do put money into Illinois. I know the AFP, I believe they put a little bit of money into Illinois. I don't know how much, I haven't looked into it really. But without groups willing to put money into Illinois, Republicans really don't have a shot. Because, like I said, Raja, he spent, when he ran last time in the 2024 election against Mark Rice in the 2024 Illinois 8th Congressional District, Raja spent tons of money. Tons. Outspent Mark Rice like nothing. And so, if candidates have this type of war chest, can you overcome that? How do you overcome that? And even with the lieutenant governor, I don't know what her fundraising or war chest looks like right now, but Raja still has that war chest. Like I said, I think he has 12 to 15 million in it. Now, granted, Stratton is the lieutenant governor, and she has been endorsed by J.B. Pritzker. The question is, will J.B. Pritzker throw his own money behind her? If he throws his own money behind her, that would change the whole complete ballgame. Because he's rich. I mean, look at what happened in the 2022 governor race. Pritzker threw money behind Bailey. Bailey got the nomination. Bailey was a weaker candidate. Hate to say it, but things have to be said. I mean, and I'm for every single Republican. Anybody who runs for office, if you have the nomination, I will 100% support you. I will be on your side. But at the end of the day, facts are the facts. And so, Pritzker has money. That's why, too, you haven't seen a huge Republican field develop yet for governor. Because people are waiting for Pritzker to announce what he's gonna do. Pritzker has the money to completely change the election. I mean, the question is, if he runs for president, would that change the presidential race too, with all the money he can spend himself? I mean, granted, that's a lot more money than, I don't know, if he has that type of money in his piggy bank. So many unknowns. Those are the funds. But so, if he's running to support Stratton, that would change the complete race. Right now, Roger will probably be the favorite, unless Stratton somehow can get a massive donation from Pritzker and even out the game with Roger. Kelly, I mean, I don't see her winning it. And then again, too, the Republican field for Senate has developed a little bit. I think there's 3 candidates now. But the question is, how do you raise for Republicans? Once again, it comes back to the money. How do we get money into Illinois? Sure, there's some huge donors that always support Illinois Republican politics. But how do you get them? Not how do you get them, how do you get new ones? Because as you see from time and time again, their money is not enough. Or is their money enough and we just have weak candidates? I mean, because at the end of the day too, Republicans can run whoever the hell they want. But if that candidate is not good, they won't win. We need efficient and decent candidates running in Illinois politics on a Republican ticket. And we don't need just people going out there running for office. We need people who can win. And so how do you find those candidates? And how do you get them interested in running? I mean, we got to recruit and train people to run for office. It's one of the goals of the Young Republicans. If you get more, and granted, there has been a younger shift towards the Republican side. It was actually interesting. I was reading this article, it was speculated in 2026. Usually, Democrats are better than presidential, I believe. No. Yeah, Democrats are better than presidential because their voters were drawn out by the presidential race. And then, Republicans are better at midterms usually, or on standard, their votes, because their voter base was always coming out. And now, since the types of voter base has shifted a little bit between the sides, there's speculation that Republicans may do better in presidential while Democrats do better in midterms. So I'd be interested to see how that plays out. Because if that's the case, it's a whole new ballgame. Will we have more Republican presidents? Would we have more of a Democratic Congress? Every midterm, you can flip the House and everything during the presidential, possibly even the Senate. But I mean, if the midterm comes around, it gets flipped back. That becomes a wonky part. The other thing I read too was going more of a national stage, not so much in Illinois politics. I know I've kind of jumped a little bit. But so, senators, some states used to have many states used to have senators from both parties. Now they don't. Which is interesting to see that shift, that how a state votes in the president is the type of senators they elect. Because as we know, each state only gets 2 senators. And so does that mean that the Senate would be majority Republican almost all the time? Because, what is it? Is it 26 to 28 states voted red? And I think it's at least 25, if not, maybe a little less. Maybe 26, but I want to say it's 25. Have at least voted Republican in the past couple of elections. Solid Republican. Have not flipped. And so with those numbers, if this trend is true, will we ever see another Democratic Senate? Maybe midterms, and if the seats line up, stars line up, every Senate seat's up at a different time. Like this year, in Illinois, Durbin seat was up. He announced retirement, as we've gone through already. Duckworth's, hers wasn't. Hers was up, I believe, 2 years ago. No, or 4 years ago, because Kathy Shelby ran against her. Because Tammy Duckworth first came to the scene in the Senate. I believe she was in the House first. When Trump won president, so in 2016, his first time, she would have been re-up in 22, so she'll be re-up in 2028. Will she retire then? Probably not. She's still a little young. She's a veteran. Thank her for her service. But so, Illinois policy, I think, should be the one most focused on because there have been so many moving parts lately. And like I said, Illinois has 2 House members that are Republican. But yet Trump got 43% of the vote. If we have 17 members in Congress, shouldn't we have at least maybe 5? But like I said, they draw the map so wonky. And like I said, with some of those shifts too in Lake County and people moving, it's going to be a tough election that so many moving parts have to be in. And can the Illinois Republican Party make a comeback? That's the question at the end of the day. I guess sit there all day and just keep asking that same question, keep throwing scenarios out, keep throwing facts, numbers, statistics. But at the end of the day, can the Illinois Republican Party grip Illinois? Illinois used to be a red state. Land of Lincoln. And so, that's all I got for y'all today. Come back next time. I haven't decided what state, maybe New Hampshire. If it's New Hampshire, no, not New Hampshire. If it's Rhode Island, I mean. I got the data on Rhode Island already. If it's Rhode Island, it will be a quicker video, not from there. Longer videos, maybe Wisconsin, Iowa. Been working some data on that one too, so I got some facts for that one. Love to share with y'all. Stay tuned for what comes next.